But the time has come, Jordan. Spread, score prediction. We're going to talk about it. We've talked about the matchup. Now it's time to talk about the point spread and the over-under for this game. The over-under opened up at 57.5. It remains at 57.5 for the game. So the spread opened at 22.5. Last I looked at it before we came on the show is 21.5 according to ESPN. So let's hear it. What's your thoughts on the over-under and the spread on this game for this noon kick against Virginia?
Yeah, in terms of the point spread, the over hit last week against Wake Forest. I could see it hitting the over again. 57.5. You see, hold on, 57. Applied score is like 39-18 type of score. I could see that. I do think you get to the 40s. So I'll say over. Final score: Clemson 42, Virginia 17.
Gotcha. I'll go with the over as well. I think Clemson covers the point spread. I think Virginia could make some plays early in this game, but I just trust the defense's ability to make adjustments. I've seen it several times this season. Wes Goodwin make in-game adjustments and really start to shut down an offense and what they're doing early on in a game. I think if Virginia has any success, it will go similar to that. They might have a little success early, but Wes Goodwin will have the ability to make the in-game adjustments. And let's remember that Wes Goodwin is very familiar with Tony Elliott's offense. He was, an analyst at that time, and Tony Elliott did use him for self-scout and things like that. So he is familiar with the offense that Tony Elliott likes to run. So, I think the defense will get it done, and Clemson gets it done as a whole. I will go 45-16. Clemson gets the dub. Tony Elliott does not get it done against his former team, especially not in the Valley. Love you, Tony Elliott, but you're gonna have to tote a big L on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
You picked your side.
All right. I think that's going to do it for the Virginia preview. What do we have up next?
That does it for the Virginia score prediction, does it for the Virginia preview. Last thing before we get into the comment section is BYOG or sell.
That's right. I almost forgot.
How could you forget? The most popular segment I think that we do on the All In Show is BYOG or sell. So we will do one or two and then maybe do a couple from the comment section, and then we will transition to regular comments. So we got 36 people in the live chat right now. Stick around, get into the comment section, ask your questions, make your comments. Me and Jordan are going to spend the next little bit after this segment to chop it up with you guys and answer your questions and respond to your comments. All right, Jordan. BYOG or sell? Clemson does not score the first points in this game.
Oh, well, I think you got your okay, so let's see. You scored first in every game except for Georgia and Wake, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to think.
And last week was the only week that you allowed points in the first quarter.
Yeah. So I'm selling that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm selling too. I was trying to throw Tony a bone, but no.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. BYOG or sell. Clemson holds Anthony Calandria to under 200 passing yards.
I will buy.
Okay.
I think our defense is. I think we're starting to round out and starting to figure some things out. I trust this defense. I trust Wes Goodwin's ability to adjust. I think he is familiar with a lot of what Virginia is going to try to do. And I don't think they're going to have very much success. So I will buy.
I'm going to sell just for the fact that I suspect Clemson's going to limit their run game in this game. And from what I've seen from Virginia, they are perfectly fine with dropping Anthony Calandra back a million times if they have to in a game.
Right.
And so it's not necessarily it's not that I think that, the secondary is going to get, lit up, but just the sheer number of volume and attempts, kind of like what we saw with Brock Glenn against Florida State. He threw like the ball 41 times or something like that, and got to 200, something like 200 passing yards, but it wasn't like overly efficient or explosive. Like I could see a situation where that happens. So I'm going to sell for me.
All right, we'll do one more piece and then we'll turn it over to the comment section. All right, BYOG or sell. Troy Stellato gets his second touchdown of the season in this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've definitely made an effort to get, to target him. I mean, especially with the increased snap count. I'll BYOG. I'll buy it. Sure. No particular reason necessarily, but I do think there will be plays to be made against this Virginia pass defense. And so one of them's got to go to him potentially. Now it doesn't necessarily have to go to him, but
it doesn't have to. But I mean, when you think about where the receiving core is right now, right? Tyler Brown's out for sure. We think that Brian Wesco's probably going to be held in this game. So that just increases the opportunity for a guy like Troy Stellato, right? His snaps are automatically going to go up with those two guys out. So I think because of that, he probably gets in the end zone again this week. So that's kind of why I lean towards he will get another touchdown this week. But again, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. BYOG or sell. Clemson forces 2 or more turnovers in this game.
We forced 2 last week. I think this game could get to a point where Calangier's got to kind of start forcing the issue. So I'll buy.
I think I'm with you. I think my intuition, my
part of me's like, I don't know, but when I think about how I kind of foresee this game going, I think it does get to a point where he's going to have to try to make plays downfield. And I think with our cornerbacks, especially if he tries to test Terrell, and even some of our safety play has been definitely playing really well. And RJ Mickens, somebody like that. So I think there's definitely a potential that he could get a little careless or try to force some things that aren't there, just trying to keep up with the Clemson offense. So I'll buy.
All right,
Jordan. That does it for our portion of the BYOG or sell. But I know the comment section has a couple of their own because they always do.
Yes, they do. And let's see what y'all are talking about. Tiggs says BYOG or sell. Mafa gets 125 yards rushing versus UVA. 125.
125.
Tough number.
That is a tough number.
I'm going to sell. Because they do, again, they're going to do what they can to limit the run game. And I don't know. We've seen this team go away from Phil Mafa at times, and he has not had a game with a ton of volume yet. I mean, he had, last week he had 20 carries, And that's the most he's had all year, I think.
No, he had 25 against FSU.
That's right. Okay, yeah,
That
he
was
did.
his, that was
That's
his season high, and he's only gone over 125 one time, and that was
and that was
against
that.
FSU with the 25 carries.
Okay.
So, the stats would side with you, Jordan, to sell
Yeah.
on that. Although he's had 4 100-plus yard rushing games, he's only gone over 125 once, and that took him 25 carries to get there. So I don't know that he gets 25 carries in this game, especially if the scoreboard starts looking lopsided. I just, you're right. Like they just show that they'll pull Mafa, right? And rightfully so. You don't want Mafa out there getting unnecessary carries when a game's in hand. The last thing you need is him going out there rolling an ankle or, banging up a shoulder or something crazy like that, and then you don't have him for the stretch of the season. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he gets to 125.
Dylan says BYOG or sell. Cade breaks away for a 20-plus yard run for a touchdown again in this game. 20-plus, I'm going to sell. I feel like 20-plus, that's just a lot. That's a lot for a quarterback. I know he's done it a couple of times this season.
Yeah.
No, I could see him having a rushing touchdown in this game, but it'd probably be a red zone goal line situation.
I will buy just to be a contrarian on this.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just so we're not in lockstep on this one. I'll buy it.
Yeah. I'm
for no other reason other than you said sell.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it. John, BYOG or sell. Stellato gets a big yards after catch play on Saturday. Well, what is your definition of big? I guess that depends. I guess most people define explosive as like 20 plus.
That's what I would say, 20 plus.
Yeah. I mean, he had one.
I mean, I think I'll buy it because he's going to get open. Yeah. I mean, Troy Stelato's going to get open. It's just going to if Cade sees him and hits him. I think I'll buy on that.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Why not? He gets one of those big explosive plays for a touchdown. So, go with that.
All right. Let me see. One more from David. Buy or sell. Mafa totally destroys another DB. I'll buy. Yeah, BYOG.
Yeah, I'll buy that. He's starting to make that a weekly occurrence.
Yeah.
I don't know what
somebody's getting hit.
I don't know what poor defensive back or linebacker or whoever is going to be in his way this time, but it probably happens again.
Man, going back and watching that Wake Forest game, man. Chase Masterson for Wake Forest, number 45.
That poor guy.
He had one of the worst. I felt so bad for him, man. That was rough. Because not only did he get run over by Phil Mafa a couple of times, he was the linebacker that got swallowed up by Peter Woods on the goal line run.
He's just having a rough night, man. he's just having a rough night. He was probably ready to hit the cold tub and
man.
God,
he was getting used and abused on that. Yeah, so. I don't know which victim it'll be for Virginia, but
it'll be somebody. Because
I think it's going to be something.
If he gets out into the open field and some poor DB's got to tackle him, good luck, because he's a load. Hopefully you strapped your helmet up tight because he'll leave equipment laying behind too. So it's so fun to watch him do it though. You feel bad for the players that he's doing it to in one sense, and then you don't in the other because it's hilarious to watch.
I said the last one, but we got a couple more I want to hit. We'll do those real fast, and then we'll move on to the our regular comments. John with another BYG or sell. He says in November, Pitt beats SMU and puts us all out of our three-way tie misery. Of course, we beat Pitt. BYOG for me. I don't know if Pitt will be the one to beat SMU, but I think SMU is dropping a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
don't think there's a chance that we end up in a three-way tie. I know it's fun to talk about right now, and it would be absolutely insane because of how the tiebreaker would work. Somebody would definitely get hosed, essentially.
And I think us as Clemson fans, we kind of have lost a little bit of perspective because we're drawing up all these three-way tie scenarios. When the reality is we're the only team that's played 4 conference games. Like there's still a whole lot of time left for this to sort out. Most of the teams in the ACC have only played like 2 or 2 or 3 of their conference games, so they have like 5, in some cases 6 games still left to play. I think we're kind of jumping the gun on the three-way tie stuff. I think it'll all work itself out.
Yeah,
and Clemson has to take care of business and keep winning too. So that's the second part of that equation.
Absolutely.
Zachariah, he says BYOG or sell. We break our season single game sack high. I feel like we've had this one before. I think we might have had this one last week, and I don't remember what our season high is.
I thought it was 3, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Against a quarterback like Calandria, I mean, he's going to escape pressure. He's a guy.
I don't think so. I think it's 3, and I don't think so.
Yeah, I can look this up right now.
Like you say, I mean, he's an athletic guy. He likes getting outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's not just going to sit back there and take sacks. So
I'd prefer for Clemson to collapse the pocket on him than get a bunch of sacks, because I think that would be more productive against a guy like that, because you get a free rusher off the edge. Calandria is a guy that makes that guy miss, and then he's out in space, kind of creating. So I'd prefer to see Clemson kind of collapse that pocket down on him and force him to make a decision and kind of get sacks that way. But I don't know. I don't think that
was kind of like a Wake Forest game plan.
Yeah, you're just kind of,
win from the
pushing guys into him and just, making that pocket really small and uncomfortable for him. But not giving him any lanes to escape.
And even if you don't get sacks, I mean, when he's that's when he'll make the
you don't even really need sacks at that point. Yeah, that's kind of my point, is you don't even really need the sacks. Just kind of make that pocket small and uncomfortable and let him make mistakes. And trust the back end of your defense, because I think they're good enough.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for the BYOG or sell. Let's see what you guys are talking about otherwise. I lost the banner. You got me.
I got you.
What would I do? All right.
We in this together.
Yes, we are. Zachariah, he says, question for you guys. Their number 1 wide receiver threat is that 6'4" guy. Yeah. Malachi Fields. Do you guys see us putting our number 1 corner Terrell on him, or using height with our number 2 Lucas, because he's 6'2"? Well, I mean, this defense does not, play assignments like that. It's usually they line up with whoever lines up in front of them. If you're field corner, you use your field corner. If you're boundary corner, you're boundary corner, and you guard whoever lines up on your side. So like Clemson has never historically done, even under Brent Venables, they didn't really play they didn't usually stick one guy on a team's best receiver. Other than Jamar Chase in the national championship game, you had, but even then they went away from that when AJ Terrell was
he was getting
victimized. So
he was getting got.
Yeah, he was getting got. So like that's something this defense doesn't do that. There are ways to to kind of get guys on their best receiver more often, but they don't play assignments like that. So I wouldn't expect that. And I think you have the guys capable for sure. I mean, Avion Terrell is certainly the smaller corner, but he's also your best, so you want him playing against their best on best at times. But of course, having the length of Luke is a big deal as well, and Shelton is going to be there at times. It's just all about how you call the defense and what they're lined up in, and that's going to determine what you're doing. But this defense doesn't. Wes Goodwin has never done that, and this defense historically has never done that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through. David Wood said, "Can Woods and Capehart play both ways the whole game?" I mean, there's no rule against it, but good luck.
I don't know if their conditioning's to the point where they can play snaps on both sides of the ball.
It's like, I mean, the average football game is give or take 130 plus snaps. So that would be.
I think Travis Hunter's the only one out there doing that.
And he is certainly. Yeah, Woods and Capehart have a few pounds on him. A
little bit, maybe one or two.
Serge says the Whoopsie Daisy King, Anthony Calandria is actually so fun to watch. Yeah, he really is an entertaining player. He's definitely.
That's funny. The Whoopsie Daisy King.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to describe him, because he sometimes he accidents his way into big plays. Sometimes he accidents his way into turnovers. He plays extremely loose, and he plays free. Like that's just who he is. I mean, when they brought him in last year, it led to some really, really awesome performances, and then some stinkers, and you're like, okay, he's
like that. He's like that typical quarterback where the coach is like always screaming no, and then yes when it works out.
Yeah. That is exactly Anthony Calandria's game, but he's a really talented football player, and I think he's going to be really good in due time. So
I don't care what Tony Elliott says. I know Calandria's made his blood pressure go up a couple of times.
I bet. I mean, you can only put up with that for so much if you're a coordinator. You're just like, okay, y'all can't keep doing that.